Good evening. Now we see the case study on analytic functions and mathematical physics. Some properties of analytic functions. We begin by reviewing briefly some fundamental points in the theory of analytic functions in a form which will be convenient for further references. Departing slightly from customary notations, we shall write W equal to U plus V plus IU, where V is the real part and U is the imaginary part. And we shall consider the theory primarily as the theory of a system of differential equations. That is, dou V by dou x minus dou U by dou y equal to 0 and dou U by dou x plus dou V by dou y equal to 0, which are called the Cauchy-Riemann equations. We shall not enter into various fine points which arise in the discussion, but we may mention that the functions u and v as well as the other functions which appear later must be assumed to be differentiable. That is, 2 possesses complete differentials in the sense of Stokes. One point of view often taken in applications is that we have a vector or rather a vector field of components u and v, and that the differential equation expresses the fact that the rotation, that is curl, and the divergence of this vector are 0. Another point of view we shall find extremely useful is that we have two vectors f and r whose components are f1 equal to u and f2 equal to v, and r1 equal to v and r2 equal to minus u respectively, and that the differential equation expresses the fact that the divergence of both are 0. These two vectors as the relations f1 equal to minus r2 and f2 equal to r1 are perpendicular on of equal length, so that we may say that the theory of analytic functions is the theory of two equal and perpendicular vectors in a plane with 0 divergences. The differential equations may be considered as integrability conditions. They are equivalent to the vanishing of certain contour integrals taken around contours inside of which the functions are regular. If the functions are not regular inside the contour but have singularities in one point, the integrals do not in general vanish but furnish two real numbers which taken together as a complex number from a residue and which characterize to a certain extent the singularity. The simplest type of singularity is shown by the function w equal to ci by z, for which in our notations we have u equal to cx by r square and v equal to cy by r square. The residue in this case is equal to ci. Here c is a real number and r square equal to x square plus y square. By elimination of the one functions u comma v, we obtain for the other second order, that is Laplace equation, dou square u by dou x square plus dou square u by dou y square equal to 0. There are certain second degree quantities that might be discussed in connection with an analytic function. These are w equal to 1 by w square, that is equal to 1 by 2 into v square minus u square, because w square equal to u square, v square minus u square, plus iuv, half the square of the function, and capital Q equal to w into w bar, that is equal to u square plus v square, that is equal to half into f1 square plus f2 square plus r1 square plus r2 square, the square of the modulus or the norm of the functions. By the fact that u comma v satisfy the differential equations. The equations 1, certain conditions are imposed on these second degree quantities, and we shall now write them down. For w, it is easy, the statement that w is an analytic function. That means the same as the statement that 1 by 2 w square is an analytic function, and the later statement is equivalent to the relations dou of 1 by 2 into u square by minus v square by dou x plus dou of u comma v by dou y, that is equal to 0, and dou of u comma u v divided by dou x plus dou of 1 by 2 into v square minus u square by dou y equal to 0. This system of differential equations is then equivalent to the system 1, and it is easy to verify this fact directly. The situation is more complicated with respect to q. The easiest way to arrive at the differential equation which must be satisfied by q as a result of the fact that u comma v satisfies the equation number 1 seems to be consideration of log w square. This must be analytic if w is, and therefore the real part of log omega square must satisfy the Laplace equation. But the real part of log omega square is log of w into w bar. So that we have dou square of log q by dou x square plus dou square of log q by dou y square equal to 0. Or q into dou square q by dou x square plus dou square q by dou y square equal to dou q by dou x the whole square plus dou q by dou y the whole square. It is interesting to note that this equation is non-linear, and that it therefore gives an example of non-linear equation which is a consequence of a system of linear equations. We next ask ourselves whether the condition expressed by the last question is sufficient. In other words, whether verifying the function q satisfying this condition may be considered as the norm of an analytic function. In the first place, it is clear that the function is not entirely determined by its norm. If the function w equal to v plus iu has the norm q, any function v plus iu for which u equal to u cos pi minus v sin pi and v equal to u sin pi plus v cos pi, where pi is an arbitrary functions of x and y, will have the same norm. The question then reduced to this: are there among the functions v plus iu some that are analytic? An easy calculation leads to the result that the equations are dou v by dou x minus dou u by dou y plus u into pi 1 plus v into pi 2 equal to 0, and dou u by dou x plus dou v by dou y minus v into pi 1 plus u into pi 2 equal to 0, with pi 1 equal to dou pi by dou x and pi 2 equal to dou pi by dou y must be satisfied. Further calculations show that the integrability condition for these equations is exactly the above equation 7 for q. An analytic function can be developed in